whirlpool without falling, and then he slips in, and then he travels into another dimension where there's kangaroos fighting.
That seems so ridiculous.
I'm going to find that movie and we're going to watch it.
If anybody knows that movie, tag it, but I'm sure we'll find it before this episode goes up. Anyway, just to finish my story really quick.
Warriors of Virtue.
What the hell is this movie?
Look it up. Warriors of Virtue. If you're listening,
film.
You got to watch this. You got to watch Warriors of Virtue.
Kidding me? This is ridiculous.
We're going to watch this, and it's going to be amazing.
This looks disturbing. Oh my god. It's like, it's not Cats level, right? Like, it's clearly not.
No, this is a good movie. You'll like it.
Jake, it got an 18 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Hey, don't let Rotten Tomatoes get you down.
Voodoo gave it a 4.2 out of 5, though.
That's all you need to know.
Yeah, but IMDb gave it a 4.8. Really? A 4.8 and an 18 on Rotten Tomatoes? That is a very impressive spread between the two.
You're intrigued, are you?
Well, it makes me think it's somewhere between, 18 and 48%.
That's probably a good spot.
Oh my gosh. So critics say it's an 18%, but the audience still gives it a 47. It's free on Vudu.
I think you need to get it.
Anyway, if the Warriors of Virtue are in the ocean and they're hearing this podcast right now, tell us why your movie is worth it and what people should expect when they watch your documentary. What the hell? Very, very strange. It is literally kangaroo ninja people in like underwater dungeons. So like,
I'm so glad I can enlighten you to this. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Did I finish my story with my train?
No, so you were talking about how you like to get fucked by trains?
No. I was talking about my train. I would watch it go up and back into the water and then up again and then back. And then, you know what? One time it went back and it didn't come back. And that was the end of that train.
Oh, did you
cry? It was horrible. Of course I did. Terrifying. Hated every second of it.
My train.
The cruel... and in that moment, I learned the cruel acts of the moon. In that one moment.
Do go on. I mean, the moon, you say?
Oh, come on now. Don't be like that, Jake. You know that the moon...
Yes, I know the moon changes the tides and all that. Gravitational pull.
Yes. People don't know that.
But did you also know the moon's made out of cheese?
Well, yes. But what type of cheese? You don't know that.
Munster.
Damn it.
I'm from Wisconsin. We are made of cheese.
That's true. I forgot that you guys know that. And you, quick nomenclature to remember that it's made out of Munster cheese. Werewolf is in the full moon, and a werewolf is a monster. Which is a type of a monster, you know.
Wah, wah,
wah. Come on, that was pretty good.
I'll give you your credit.
Pay it up where it's due.
So the moon's doing its thing, right, in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
How does it affect the tidal waves?
So there is always like a gravitational thing going between Earth and the moon, obviously. If there wasn't any gravitational pull between the two, we wouldn't have a moon. It just wouldn't be like orbiting us, right? So, and because of that, they kind of like keep a distance between one another because they have their own gravitational pulls, which is good. Even if the moon is like a little bit weaker, that's, it's still something. So, it's just the like the law that all things are like all mass can like attract to one another. If it's large enough, it will start pulling things towards it. You can't really get around that. It's warping the space around it as to say you need to be closer to this large object, which is like kind of weird to think about. But the very small pull that the moon has on Earth is the closer the moon is to us, our surface reacts, and the thing that reacts the most is the water itself. So, if we did not have a moon, our oceans would be perfectly still like a lake. Would you? How that would be crazy. Because when you think about it, though, most most parts of the world where the moon doesn't really get as close to it, they do have a weaker tide. So just the fact of it being close enough affects it more. That's crazy, man. Very cool.
I want the moon to affect the area Bermuda Triangle. I want to know what it is. It's like such a mystery.
The Bermuda Triangle is fascinating. It is Ghost City, baby.
Do you think there's like some kind of black hole hidden somewhere in there?
I don't know. I mean, I think we would know about a black hole if it was there, right? It's not like, oh, there's uncharted territory in the Bermuda Triangle. Like, we have scanned everything above water. Like, we know exactly where every jungle is. We know exactly where every island is, whether it's man-made or not, where there are going to be islands. Like, we know all that, which is kind of crazy to think about on its own, too.
Mm-hmm.
But we know all that. We don't really know anything about the ocean, though, and, maybe there is something under.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta imagine, think of just how much the ocean isn't even, like, explored yet.
Exactly. Well,
there's probably so much. I really want there to be a Bikini Bottom.
There is. Yeah, I hope there is too. Then I don't have to go, see those creepy mascots of SpongeBob and Patrick. I could just go visit them.
Right.
But here's the situation with that. There's only been I want to say 3 or 4% of the ocean floor has been explored.
That's crazy.
It's just, there's so much more of it than there is land that it's not even comparable. Because we haven't been able to be down there until really recently. I just saw a recent post that ancient Native Americans, I want to say, were first found dated between 19,000 and 26,000 years ago. That's crazy. Between that long and now, we finally figured out how to find all the land. And then we just started exploring the ocean. So, very crazy stuff.
We're going to find a kraken on the bottom of the ocean floor.
There's some truth to krakens. Giant squids.
Yeah, big old size squiddies.
And a lot of people say, they're yes, they are more so found within the deep sea, but they're not actually too uncommon to be found at the surface either. They're pretty massive, but it's
maybe
not
that's
as rare
what
as
the
you
Loch
might think.
Ness is.
You think he's just a squid?
Could be.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any freshwater squids.
Maybe his parents were, one was a squid and the other was some kind of, I don't know, hybrid dinosaur thing. They mated, and then they had Loch Ness, who's just this morphed human who wants, or not human, it's just this morphed animal who just wants to be accepted by society, but she knows that if she comes out, she'll just get mocked.
That's not very nice.
No.
I don't like that. Everybody take care of your local Nessies.
Be nice to
Kidding
Nessie.
Me? We called her Wonder Woman on the last episode, and that's still true.
It is.
But here's what I think. What if Nessie is just a frilled shark? Do you know about these things?
No, what the hell's a frilled shark?
It is pretty much like one of the most
At first,
ancient...
I thought you said thrilled shark, and I was like,
no.
I just pictured a shark smiling.
I mean, this looks like it's kind of smiling, but it's real creepy. So the frilled shark is this type of shark that lives like usually 1,000 meters below the surface, and that's called the midnight zone of the ocean. Yeah.
It's with the part where your head explodes if you try to go down there.
It's literally like, well, what is it?
The blow zone.
Well, so that's like 1,000 meters down, right? So the deepest diver that has ever gone down was 332 meters. And being that far down is the equivalent of having 200 cars stacked on top of you. That's the amount of pressure that you're feeling.
So this shark lives down there.
This shark lives further than that.
Is he able to come up and go anywhere in the ocean, or does he strictly stay in the bottom?
It's actually very unsafe for some creatures that live that far down to come that close to the surface. There has been one that made it to the surface actually recently. I did a little bit of research on that. It was like semi-recently. It was whenever we had colored TV because it was on the news. But this...
Ronald Reagan gave the speech.
Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't think so. I think, he was off fucking around with other shit. But this shark came up to the surface, and because of the difference in the pressure, it was so alleviated that everything just kind of expanded, and it was its insides were kind of bursting because they didn't really know how to live under no pressure,
That's kind of like a scary thought to think. Maybe that animal had some kind of exploration mindset, and it wanted to be the first to discover new territory for its species.
Oh my gosh.
Think of us traveling in space, trying to find something, and all of a sudden our organs just eviscerated.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's just because we didn't know. And it's yeah, don't go that way, I guess. Jesus Christ. But, what is it? Do you know about the blobfish from the ocean?
I think I've seen... Is he the dude with the lips?
Yes.
Oh, that guy creeps me out.
So here is the situation.
I call him that dude like the fish is some guy, some annoying neighbor.
They all kind of have the same face, though. They kind of look like...
he looks like a Bob.
They look like Captain Underpants came up from the bottom of the ocean. That's kind of what they look like. But this fish, and I hate to make fun of it and say that, because those fish don't actually look like that. They only look like that because somebody somewhere deep diving took one and brought it back, and it can't withstand the no pressure, so its entire skin folds inside out. And that's why it looks like
murder,
a blob.
Bro.
I mean, it's basically murder. So, if you look at, real pictures of blobfish under the ocean, where they're supposed to be, very majestic creatures. How do you feel about that?
I want to take the blobfish to, Warby Parker and put on some, nice, circular glasses on it. And then a top hat.
What the hell?
And then call him George. Hey, George, what up, buddy?
I thought you said they all look like Bob.
Well, he looked a George, a Bob, because this blobfish kind of looks like a cross between the thing from Ah Real Monsters.
Yep.
And George Costanza.
Oh my god.
And I just want to put glasses on it.